Look at the English Parliament today, and you see a pinnacle of order, law, and stable representative government. But in the early 5th century, that order was non-existent. The Roman Empire's abandonment of Britain left behind a massive administrative and military void, reducing a provincial capital to a collection of ruins. Angles, Saxons, and Jutes filled the Roman vacuum. Their settlements pushed native Britons to Wales and Cornwall, fracturing the island into the Heptarchy, 7 warring territories. Kings fought constantly for the title of Bretwalda, an overlordship lasting only while they held neighbors in submission. The unified English state was forged through a brutal 800-year cycle, where the populace had to adapt to catastrophic external shocks or face total erasure. By the early 7th century, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms were disjointed both politically and administratively. They lacked a common law, a shared language of government, or any unified structure to link the rival realms. The Gregorian mission of 597 provided the first breakthrough. Sent by the Pope to convert the Anglo-Saxons, these missionaries established a Roman Christian foothold at Canterbury, bringing continental administrative practices to the south. This created immediate friction as the Roman mission moved north and collided with the pre-existing Celtic Christian communities. The two groups practiced different styles of tonsure and used conflicting calculations to set the date of Easter, creating a disjointed religious calendar across the kingdoms. King Oswiu of Northumbria resolved this at the 664 Synod of Whitby. By officially aligning the realm with Roman authority over Celtic tradition, he established a singular rule of life for all English Christians. This decision gave the fragmented island its first unified administrative network. By adopting the Roman system, the kingdoms gained access to a standardized legal framework and a continental intellectual culture, transforming England from an isolated province into a participant in European trade and diplomatic networks. In the 9th century, the system faced a threat of total annihilation. The arrival of the Great Heathen Army shifted Viking activity from minor seasonal raiding to permanent, large-scale territorial conquest. The Heptarchy collapsed. The Vikings overran Northumbria, East Anglia, and Mercia, establishing the Danelaw in the north and east. By 871, the Kingdom of Wessex was the only Anglo-Saxon territory left standing. King Alfred responded with a radical adaptation. He built the Burh system, fortified towns placed so no resident was more than 20 miles from a fortification. This defense-in-depth strategy stabilized Wessex, providing a centralized military machine to systematically conquer the Danelaw. The existential threat of the Vikings forced the creation of a centralized military command, which in turn forged the first fully unified Kingdom of England. The 1066 Norman Conquest shattered the native Anglo-Saxon state. William the Conqueror systematically replaced the native landowning elite, leaving only 2 significant Anglo-Saxon landowners in possession of their estates within 20 years. William now claimed ultimate ownership of all English land, but he faced the challenge of controlling a vast hostile population with only a few hundred loyal barons. His adaptation was the Domesday Book, an unprecedented national survey to assess the wealth of the realm and maximize tax yields. This registry allowed the crown to enforce strict feudal obligations, binding peasants to the land and tracking barons to prevent challenges to his authority. This response to ruling hostile territory transformed England into the most highly centralized and heavily taxed state in medieval Europe. The Normans built a phenomenally powerful monarchy, but the cost of maintaining absolute power and funding foreign wars became a crippling burden. By the 13th century, royal debt forced the crown to squeeze the realm for cash, triggering a baronial revolt against King John's administrative abuses. This revolt produced the 1215 Magna Carta. The document bound the monarch to the written law and established that extraordinary taxes could not be levied without common council. To extract wealth under these new rules, the crown invited the wealth-generating classes, urban burgesses and knights, into the Great Council, culminating in Edward I's 1295 model parliament. He justified this assembly citing Roman law: what touches all should be approved by all. Modern representative government represents the final, pragmatic survival tactic at the end of an 800-year crucible of war, invasion, and fiscal ruin.